Hey guys. So let me introduce myself. I am the original Wildcat. And I'm going to let you know right now, I'm a little nervous. Putting myself just out there and sharing all this information. I want to, but at the same time, it's something that when people, sorry, I have stuff on my screen. Sorry, scroll moment. When people find out, like when I have close friends and everything that find out or learn about what has happened to me, a lot of times they don't believe me at first. In all honesty, it takes feeling my head and the scars and everything to fully start understanding where I'm coming from. So, just to give you a little background, I am a mom, I am a wife, I am a United States Navy veteran. So, like I said in my previous video, I want this to be able to help somebody. I want this not only for myself to kind of get it out there in the open, but I want this to be able to help somebody who might be going through the same thing, something similar, feeling just down and out, that you could go through the roughest thing ever and still come out on top. So, this is going to be a couple different series, so it's not going to be everything in one video because that would just take too long. Sorry, I keep having hairs that just annoy the crap out of me. So, a lot of you guys who are on here know that my daughter, hold on, I'm still trying to figure this out. I thought I was able to do, hold please, hold on. There we go. Okay, so I do have the group chat open. So if you guys are in here and viewing this, go ahead and leave a message or comment. Let me know where you're from. I know a lot of you guys who are getting followed over know my daughter, who's Wolfpack Lover 4. In all honesty, I'm tech savvy. I just never done this type of thing before, so it's kind of crazy. So we're just going to dive right in. So let me get comfortable too, so I'm not like jostling around while I'm talking to you guys. So, as I said before, I am 37 years old. I started out life kind of roughly. Back in 1980, I don't even know how I want to start this. So let me back this up one more step. So I was born in 1980. We've established that. With being born in 1980, that makes me 37. My whole life, I've had to adjust myself, and meaning I've had to adjust the way I do things. So, and when I say that, I'm just trying to find the right words. So I'm trying to just open up and say this. So everybody might tie their shoes one way. I had to learn to tie my shoes probably a different way than anybody else. And granted, you guys are probably out there thinking, yeah, so do a lot of people. A lot of people do, but it's the truth. I had to learn how to learn. I had to, in school, the teachers didn't know how to teach me, if that makes sense, because of what happened to me. So as an overview, I have a traumatic brain injury. I was paralyzed on my left side till I was 5 years old. I was in a coma until I was 4.5 years old. With being paralyzed on my left side, that means that my my muscle memory, I guess, doesn't, no matter how much I work out or how much I try to strengthen my left side, it'll never be as strong as my right. I've had several brain surgeries. I've had shunts put in, taken out, put back in, taken out. I've had eye surgeries. I've had um, ankle surgeries where they've had to go in and put stitches in my ankle. And this is all because of choices that people made, choices that were not left up to me. These are choices that I had no control over whatsoever. Starting on a June day, 1980, my biological parents gave birth to a baby girl, me. My biological parents have had previous children who had been adopted out. They had lived in Napa, California. I'm giving you as much information as I have because I'm still learning information, and we'll get to that. Eventually. I mean, it gets really, really crazy. So June 1980, biological parents, and I refer to them, and some people might think this is disrespectful. This is me, egg and sperm donor, because that's pretty much all they were for me. It was an egg and sperm donor. Before I was born, they ended up moving from Napa, California to Reno, Nevada. And with that said, I was born, and from day one of being born, I was abused. I was beaten, thrown, smacked, hit, shaken, abused. Egg and sperm donor took me home and continued to abuse me. From what I was told from people who were around the family, and from what we gather from the reports, from the police reports, is that anytime I would cry, anytime I would, God, this lighting is really, really horrible. I'm so sorry, you guys. Hold on. Let me see if I can correct this. Don't mind the bed frame. Oh no. Sorry, you guys. Okay. Let's see if that makes that a little bit better. Probably not. So, within the first 4 to 6 weeks, my egg and sperm donor started to abuse me. Anytime I cried, anytime they felt like it, basically. Being an infant, again, no control over it. It's not like I'm like, hey guys, could you lay off a little bit? I'm a little sore from last time. You don't get that option. So at 6 weeks old, sorry, I'm sitting on a hair tie. So at 6 weeks old, I had there was a neighbor that witnessed the abuse, and they ended up calling the police. I don't know exactly what agency. The people who responded have since retired. but they responded and they found me unconscious. And you got to remember, I was 6 weeks old. 6 weeks old, found unconscious, and they ended up just scooping me up and running. And in the back of a ambulance, they revived me. And then I flatlined. And then they revived me. And this happened 3 times. They got me down to the hospital, which is also a trauma center. And you guys, I have flashbacks. You got to understand, I have flashbacks. And at first, I didn't believe that they were what I thought I saw. But the older I get, the more I have them. I have flashbacks, and they're not dreams, they're flashbacks of being wheeled in to the trauma bay of this hospital and laying there in like this metal bed cage looking thing. And back in the day, those were like I don't know if they use them now, so that's what I'm saying. Back in the day, it's the cribs. Okay, so I'm laying there, and all I see is, if you look up, you see the lights, you see the fluorescent lights, but then next to the lights, and I look up, I talk with my hands and everything, guys. Next to the lights, there's stickers. There's little kids' stickers up on the ceiling. I remember doctors and nurses looking down over the railings, checking me out, listening to my lungs, but I can't do anything. I'm a baby. And then the flashback stops. I don't know if they administered medicine or if I lost consciousness. I don't know. I just know that I lost the memory, the thought. I didn't lose the memory. I still have it. I still dream about it. Next, I remember waking up in this room where all these machines are beeping and alarms going off. And these nurses walking in with these hats on that just, I mean, nowadays our nurses don't wear those hats. It's, my mom used to have one when she had to wear it for graduation. And it's like the equivalent to an officer's, class A's, or a military officer's class A's. That's the only time they really wore them. So, you guys, I have these flashbacks. And so the next thing I remember is being super little still and laying on a bed where if I laid too still, this alarm went off. And learning back now, it was a sleep apnea crib mattress thing where if you stopped breathing, the alarm would go off and the parents would be able to run in and catch you, and not catch you, but wake you up and get you to breathe. So I don't remember anything after that. The next true memory I have, and that's just a glimpse. That's kind of like it's like a eyes open, eyes closed, and that's it. The next true memory I have is being probably 4.5, 5 years old. At this time, you guys, you got to realize, 6 weeks old, the police took me. The paramedics revived me. The egg and sperm donor lost their child. And I don't mean lost as in like, oh my gosh, we're going to fight for her and I don't really think they cared. So at 6 weeks old, my parents, in retrospect, my parents who raised me, who I call mom and dad, they come into my life. My mother was a nurse at the hospital I was at. And when she saw me brought into the hospital, she's just like, oh my gosh, everything happens for a reason. Oh my gosh, everything happens for a reason. She ended up this, and again, I'm getting this from other people, family members, church members, even though I don't practice anymore. We were really close with church members that when my mother saw me brought in, she ended up calling my father, and they did foster care at the time. And they were the only ones who were medically certified. I mean, they were the only ones qualified enough. Just imagine it. When you become a parent for the very first time to a baby to a baby without any medical conditions, you don't think you're prepared then. Just imagine if you get this call that this infant girl who has her head essentially bashed in, because that's essentially what happened. My head got bashed in. My face got bashed in. My ankles got bashed in. It just, imagine how unprepared you feel. But yet these two people were the only ones medically qualified, because my mom being a nurse and my dad learning the skill sets through my mom and through doing foster and everything, they were the only ones qualified to take care of me. So I ended up joining their family. They ended up adopting me. I can't tell you the timeline because, there's foster and then there's immediate placement, and they've had me since I was 6 weeks old. I've been adopted since 6 weeks old. They've had me. That's my family. I was adopted into a family with 3 boys. At one time, they fostered up to 12 kids. Growing up in that household, you guys, it's amazing. Everything happens for a reason. Whether it's really, really crappy and you're like, nope, there's no good thing that'll come out of this. There's always something. With having this family take me in, you gotta realize, guys, they had to move my arms, move my legs, give me physical therapy. They had to make sure that I didn't get bed sores or whatever they're called, because I was like unconscious. I was in a coma, essentially. It's just, it's crazy. So I have 3 amazing brothers, and we'll expand that. Essentially, I have 6 brothers, and they're awesome. But I have 3 from my mom and dad. And those brothers were in high school, and they took the time to do motion therapy and to hold me and to talk to me. And, they were in high school, you guys. Think about that. If you were in high school and your parents said, okay, now you have to do this, you weren't going to be really pleased. So fast forward to when I was 5 years old, to the parts I actually do remember. Going to school, I never have had coordination. It's kind of like a running joke, but I've never had the greatest coordination ever. I try to do sports, hence the word try. I try to play sports. I love sports. I love to play them. I don't do it well, but I try. 5 years old, we ended up living in a house down the street from an elementary school where whenever I would walk to school or walk home, one of my brothers or my parents would stand there and watch me, because I'd get picked on. I get picked on and bullied. People would make fun of me. You see my eyes? You might start seeing it because I'm tired tonight, but I have a lazy eye. In fact, I'll show you. Let me see if I can. Sorry. Let me see if, because now I have them so trained that it's like it's hard to like let them relax enough to actually show them. So, okay. And I can't tell you which one's going to drift first. So just bear with me and watch both of them. So I control my eyes pretty well. Took a lot of years, a lot of eye exercises. I had 4 eye surgeries because when the egg and sperm donor abused me, they hit me so hard it detached the muscle from my eye. Now let me say this. It's one thing when you go to an ophthalmologist that you've known since day 1. Well, week 6, day 1. He was the ophthalmologist that the trauma center called in because of the detached muscles. He ended up being my eye doctor my entire life, like literally up until I was like 34. And then he ended up retiring. Dr. Pomerantz, I love you. You're amazing. You and your nurse Judy, like just amazing people. It's kind of entertaining though, but because when you go in for regular eye checkups, because my vision has never been good at all because of I don't know if it's everything that's happened or just crappy genetics or I don't know. I don't care. I mean, I do, but I don't. I have it. I deal with it. But it's kind of entertaining when I go in for a regular checkup and he has a medical student with him. And the conversation starts as, do you remember that case study I told you about? Meet the person. You kind of feel like a little gerbil or a hamster in a cage at that point because you're like, what have you been studying about me? And it is, I can laugh about it now because it's funny. At the time you're like, what has he told you? What did you read? And then your second thought is, have you read more about my stuff than I have? Because the court, when I was adopted, the court ended up, and I'm going to be going over like the commonly asked questions as we go through this. So if I jump around a little bit, bear with me. When I was adopted, the court sealed my records. So I can't get a hold of them. I mean, unless I want to pay like out the butt. So it's hard. It's been hard, you guys. But again, I'm going to say this over and over and over. Something good comes out of everything. It doesn't have to be major. It doesn't have to be like this humongous, oh my God, $1 million, I won the lottery good. But you know what? I have the ability to laugh at myself. I have the ability to be compassionate, to this is one of the drawbacks. I can't say certain words. I have a hard time finding my words because of the brain stuff. Empathize. When somebody tells me, if they don't look sick, but they tell me that they're feeling really, really crappy, they hurt, I can totally relate. I look totally fine. Well, except for my eyes when I get tired. I look totally fine. But I'm in chronic pain all the time. And I don't say anything. It's just one of those things like there's other people hurting worse, so why should I complain? I get hurt a lot, and that's partly because my coordination, again, it's never been good. It's always been off, but I don't give up. I don't just sit around and do nothing because of it. It's been fun. So it's a live broadcast, so they can see me pausing and looking at you. What?
There probably.
No. What's up?
No,
I'm close the door so I can't hear the kids' stuff. Now it's awkward because the husband's staring at me.
Why is it awkward?
Because it's already awkward trying to tell the story, and then I know you already know the story, but it's still awkward just having you stare at me like a fish in a fishbowl.
You're past as a kid?
Huh?
You're past as a kid, as a child?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gotcha.
Starting from the beginning.
Gotcha.
And I'm not going to tell it all in one long, I'm going to break it up. I was just telling him how, because of what happened, even though I might be in chronic pain all the time, I'm not like always, I'm trying not to always complain about it because there's other people in worse pain. And there's, you know, other people worse off. What? Oh, he's petting our cat who acts like a dog. So I call him our cat dog. And he's
scratching like a dog, doesn't he hit a special
apparently he touched a spot on the cat, and the cat started back legs shaking like a dog would, which is kind of funny.
Scratching like scratching his neck with my hand, so he's hitting my hand.
That's funny.
Silly. Okay, I'll let you go. Love you.
I love you too. So as we go through some of the commonly asked questions, I'm more than happy to answer you guys. If you know somebody who has gone through a traumatic event, and that's where I pause, is because I don't know, you know, I call it a traumatic event, but I don't know if other people do. Because it was traumatic, but it's one of those things that I had to adapt as I went through it. So it wasn't as traumatic as it wasn't as traumatic to me as it was to everybody else around me, if that makes sense. So, what's over? Come here. Come here. Come say hi to everybody. Do you want to come be my helper? Come here. Come be my helper. So we have this cat. He's so I have tattoos. I have a lot of tattoos. And that cat face right there is a cat that was my therapy cat for what? Come here. Come here. Come say hi to everybody. Come here. Come say hi to everybody. I have a therapy cat that had a therapy cat to help me with tough times and tough days, and just like everybody else does. And so he ended up getting killed. Come here. And so we actually ended up, we were actually given this cat that I'm talking to. His name is Silver, and he is our cat dog. He is actually probably one of the best therapy cats ever. Due to I have other medical conditions resulting from what the egg and sperm donor have done. I have medical conditions that will never go away. That won't improve. In fact, they'll probably get worse, is what I was told. And I just have to deal with it. You want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Come here. This is Silver. Silver, say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say hi. Do you see yourself? This is Silver. He's our Bengal. I call him our Bengal Shepherd because he acts like a dog. No, don't step on the keyboard. He's a great cat. Dog, cat, dog, whatever you want to call him. So, welcome to my crazy world, you guys. This is going to be interesting. So, just a quick recap. born in 1980. Egg and sperm donor abused the crap out of me. Ended up having to have brain surgeries, eye surgeries, ankle surgeries. I don't know if this would have been neurology or anyways. Yeah, if you touch my forehead, like right here, I could probably draw. I might do that next time. Get like a makeup pen and like you can feel all the different fractures in my head from what happened. What? I've always, this is going to sound really random. I've always wanted to shave my head, but I'm afraid to because of the scars on my head. It's like Armageddon on my head. You thought the craters in Armageddon were deep, you should feel my head. It's crazy. Silver. Just a minute, Boba. Okay. Y'all, everything happens for a reason. It really does. So I am going to let you guys go for tonight. It's been kind of a long evening. I hope I didn't bore you. Hope you guys come back and check out the next session, or the next, I guess, session. I don't know what to call it. I'm so new at this. Oh my God. So check out the next session. So, because that's when we start learning how to, deal, tolerate, and we might even, my parents ended up, well, I'll save it for next time. I'll leave you with that teaser. So you guys have a fabulous evening. Do me a favor, shoot me a comment if you're new, or if you have any questions, shoot them in the comment section. I'll check them. You guys, I check them quite often. So I hope you guys have a fabulous evening. Be nice to each other. Have a good night.